All right. Hello again, adventurers, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Legend of the Three Kingdoms. Yes, this is one of my homebrew D&D Kiki campaigns set in my weird homebrew campaign setting, and the people below me are the people that may not be playing with me after we're done with this dungeon because I have just done evil things over and over and over again to them. So,
Are you going to TPKS?
who knows? It's possible. I have been told that I'm not a real dungeon master unless I have TPK'd a party. So, I want to be a real dungeon master. Also, I've discovered that anytime I plan for something, you guys will totally go in a direction that I didn't expect. Like using an octopus to completely bypass my trap. So, yeah.
Miss my druid.
Gotta love it. Announcements. I just realized they may. No. Can you guys say something real quick?
Something.
Oh,
Other
there
things.
Oh,
Sorry.
oh.
For whatever reason, I thought OBS wasn't picking you guys up, but it is. So announcements. This Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. The Zelda RPG campaign that I ran for the past 5.5 years for Zelda Universe is over, and we're doing a campaign wrap up. So if anyone wants to come and ask me questions about that campaign, ask me questions about anything, ask questions of the cast, whatever, it should be really, really fun. And I get to play James Lipton for a little bit and interview a few of my cast members and ask them what their favorite swear word is. Damn, I miss James Lipton. One of the finest acting trainers in existence. Other than that, I'm trying to think if anything else really big is happening. There's a bunch of RPG related Kickstarters going on right now that you should definitely look at because they're cool. And Acquisitions Incorporated just reached its funding goal for Acquisitions Inc. this series. And I'm happy about that because I love Acquisitions Incorporated. So yeah. Also, on my YouTube channel, I did an episode of Discovering New Dragons about the Power Rangers RPG, and everybody loved it. It's my most popular episode ever.
Power Rangers weird.
Who would have thought? And then today I built a monk in Power Rangers because that's what I do. And it's the character itself I think is pretty cool. It's a yellow ranger that's going to be a green ranger because I like green, and they're an oddball for their origin, which I just think is really fun playing.
I almost picked that one.
I've always wanted to play a character that communicates mostly in non sequiturs, like Homstar from Homestar Runner. I'm a young demon. Sorry. In my Zoom meeting, I just got this pop-up from Zoom that said playing music ? And I'm like, I thought it was one of you guys in chat going, hey, are we playing music right now? And no, it wasn't. It was Zoom trying to pitch me to set up professional audio in audio settings. And I'm just like, what?
Yes, because you did a sustained tone.
I don't know. I thought it was weird because I'm like, what the hell? Thank you, Zoom. Wow. So apparently, Zoom can play professional music or something. I didn't realize was professional music, but guys, I am like super good at this. I've been doing this for like a decade, and like I'm the best streamer ever. Yeah. You just want to play some D&D? Now it's time for us to return to the legend of the Three Kingdoms. The party has descended through a dungeon seemingly designed to confuse and disorient them. After dealing with a room enchanted to reverse gravity over and over again, the party had to adjust some sound. The party made their way through a winding hallway that seemed to repeatedly cast illusions and other things like that to make them think certain things are happening. It started by replicating the sound of spells going off, and then the sound of strange screams and things like that. And then as they went further and further, the sounds they were replicating became more and more personal, to the point where it started replaying specific things from the party's past. Some of which almost felt like they were so accurate that they had to have been recorded at that particular time. But eventually, getting through this long, winding hallway, they found a set of stairs going down. And that is where we return. So, you guys, found the set of stairs down, and as you guys started descending them, you noticed a couple things right away. Probably the first thing you noticed is that as you went down the hallway that you're in, you were in this very claustrophobic kind of 5-foot wide hallway. But as you're going down, the stairs themselves, the walls seem to start sloping outward slowly. And the stairs just keep getting wider and wider, to the point where by the time you reach the bottom of these stairs, the hallway itself has expanded to about 10 feet. And you guys go down for an abnormally long amount of time. If anyone does any kind of calculations, you probably went down easily 30 or 40 feet on these stairs, though, because the walls were slowly sloping outward and everything, and the ceiling tended to keep a relatively constant height. Is a little bit difficult to predict exactly how far you went down, but it was long stairs. And eventually, you guys find yourself in another room, or in a hallway. And if you guys want to put your pieces right at the bottom there, at the bottom of the stairs, you come to a very different place from where you were. Again, the place you left had kind of natural looking walls and things like that. But as you get to the bottom here, the ground is marble tiles. The walls themselves are made of metal. As you look down this hallway, you can see 3 sets of double doors made of wood inlaid with gold and silver and other precious metals and gems in these doors. And there are lights going throughout this entire place, little sconces on the wall and things like that. It's almost a night and day difference compared to what you have been going through, where before it felt very much like a cave or something like that. This does not, in any way, shape, or form, feel like that. So what do y'all want to do?
Is everyone here? We're not.
I think we're missing one person. Might be Argenta. I don't think I see you.
No, I'm good.
Okay. And I'll
I'll
just...
look down the hallway.
Okay, so again, as you can see, the hallway goes...
We're missing someone.
Hallway goes about 50 feet down, and as I mentioned before, there's on the left side of the hallway, there's one set of double doors, very kind of tall and immaculate, and then on the right side, there are 2 sets of double doors.
Well, this is different.
Seems that way.
I wonder. I wonder what kind of interesting traps they have down here. I mean, part of me thinks this gives the appearance of a more lived-in area, but given the traps we just went through and the illusions, this is not. This is just another level of fun. Yeah. Well, do we want to try door number 1, 2, or 3?
Well, first I think we ought to check, do the standard. And this when we it slips our mind to check for something, we end up very bad things happening.
You're not wrong.
Go ahead and make your check.
I will check for traps by investigation.
I'm just generally going to check out the area, see what I see, because it's all looking weird to me.
Natural 20 for a total of 27.
Okay. So looking around, you don't see anything that would tip you off that there's any kind of traps or anything. Again, compared to the place that you're in, like everything here just seems immaculate and just very, very nice in general. So you're not even sure where a trap would have been hidden. The tiles themselves are like kind of carved and patterned marble. And so putting like pressure plates and stuff like that underneath it would be difficult to say the least. Like marble is very heavy, and this is very expensive marble. So carving it out and things like that would be not impossible, but definitely would not be something that you would want to try yourself.
I don't think there's traps here. It seems too. This floor is too bougie full of traps.
If you want to ask them,
Sorry?
I didn't catch that.
if you want them to have magic, you have to.
I don't believe so.
I can ritual cast.
I mean, do we want to eat 10 minutes?
It's up to you
Uh,
guys.
I don't see why
I-
not, unless we have a. I am worried about finding people, but I think rushing will also hurt us.
Yeah.
When has
I
rushing
mean-
blindingly into danger ever gone badly for us?
I just look at you, Vala.
Yeah, me too.
I haven't been with you long, but I've heard the stories following you.
I'll go into the corner of shame.
So, if that's what you guys want to do, roughly 10 minutes pass. When your eyes start to kind of glow and you start seeing colors that you normally can't, and there's nothing down here. Like, nothing on the ground is glowing. The doors themselves don't seem to have any kind of arcane locking mechanisms or anything on them. They're very, very nice. Vala, even you are kind of looking around and are almost blushing a bit just how kind of opulent everything is around you. Like, this is an obscene show of wealth. The doors themselves are made out of like cherry wood, and they actually have what you would assume somebody actually carved, made carvings in, and then poured molten like gold and silver and platinum into the door to create these very intricate, gorgeous patterns full of precious metals. And every so often you'll see sapphires and emeralds kind of inlaid in the doors themselves. But as far as you can tell, there's nothing here kind of glowing magic. There is kind of an overall kind of haze of magic energy all around it. Like, obviously there's a fair amount of magic, but there's no, like, you're not getting a school of magic from it or anything, just that obviously a lot of magic has been cast here, and there's residual traces of it.
It's also possible there's protection from certain spells, but I think that would still be a certain level of magic.
Mm-hmm.
There's also the ambient magic around us. Doesn't seem to be anything straightforward so forth, but then again, that's pretty much how your friend seems to operate.
Yes, I know.
Very showy. It's a little gaudy, if you ask me.
It is rather expensive.
Yeah, they're worth $1 billion to you at all.
I don't think I've ever been anywhere like this. Oh,
No, this is
Yeah.
a first for you. In
I just yeah.
in Fenrir, even like really, really or Fenrish, even really successful mercenaries and bounty hunters and the like would not live in a place like this.
We've established many things about him. About your friend, he likes telling people numerous times in a single conversation how smart he is. We know how much he likes telling people how much smarter he is than some other people. We've also established he'll put his own maker's mark on pretty much anything that you can put a maker's mark on if given the opportunity and he crosses his mind. Is there any? I don't know him. I don't know how much everyone I know Argenta knows him to to most extents, but is it possible he also has hidden meanings? It's like, is he the type of person who will have a wolf here chasing a rabbit, and that signifies something in your past, or is this pattern here supposed to signify something? Is he the type of person that's put in a sneaky little message that you should have seen if only you'd been smart enough to see it?
I mean, I wouldn't put it above him, but he's eluded me until I started traveling with these two, and then he started appearing again. And I'm not, other than his connection with the Dark Lord, I'm not sure why. Like, why he went missing for so long.
Well, he does seem to have a fixation on dealing with you.
He does.
Yeah.
I don't think I was supposed to live.
Trying to finish the job you think.
Something like that.
Well, I guess the only thing left to do is start checking.
Yeah.
So, door
Who's
number
going?
one,
Who's going to be
2,
checking
or
the?
3.
Who's going to be checking the doors?
I mean, I can say I've been hit, but it doesn't have to be me.
I mean, you have a very explodable face, so
Okay, well, Rowan's asking, like, are we going to treat this like we've been treating it before with Liliane checking, or is Vala checking?
I mean, I can check. I'm just not very good at unlocking doors.
I mean, you want me to keep checking I will.
Okay.
Rowan goes, all right. Oh, very good. Guidance. And he just like just goes around the corner, raises his shield up, just like smacks the shoulder. There you go. Guidance.
Right. Door number one.
okay. So as you go up to go ahead and make an investigation check.
Okay.
Always thrills a dungeon master when you ask for a check and the player half-heartedly goes, "Yay!"
Uh, 24.
So, looking at the door, you notice two things. One, it doesn't appear to be locked currently. Two, the locking mechanism for this door is on the outside.
That can't be good.
Excuse me.
So the side facing out.
Yeah, so the side facing you guys seems to be like you can see the locking mechanism, and even if the door was locked, because you're on the side with the locking mechanism,
Yeah,
you would just unlock it.
I'm going to quit that the door the submarine.
As far as you can tell, no need for another check. They all seem to operate in the same way. Really nice, large, immaculate doors with a locking mechanism on the outside.
Okay.
And looking over, especially, what did you get again? It was a 20...
4.
24, yeah. With a 24, like, this is a really, really solid lock. You think that were you on the other side, you would have a significantly difficult time getting through just because of how well made this particular lock is. These look to be custom made as far as you can tell. So it's not like, it's following some sort of plan that's well known. Like, these look like custom made specifically for this.
Am I familiar with the basic book that we've been seeing?
Unless you start taking apart the door, you can't really see anything other than the outside of the locking mechanism. But you would assume if you got into the inner workings, there's probably a maker's mark on there.
Alright. Oh. What way wherever we are supposed to be the inside, the door's locked from this side.
Is it currently locked?
No.
Makes me wonder if somebody's going to lock it from once we go in.
Maybe one of us should stay out here. Just to be
Well,
safe.
we do have two people with the ability to ask for one.
There is that. Oh no, you've locked me behind a door.
Roland's not an adventurer. He has no opinions about splitting the party.
Don't you dare. Alright. So I say we see what's behind door number 1.
Yeah, okay. So I'll open it.
Okay. As you open the door, I have to click the right button. There we go. As you open the door, you can see a short hallway that opens up to a room that instantly takes you back to when you first arrived in Crusitalia, Liliane. You see a very, very simple room. There's a single bed. There is a desk and a chair in the corner. And in another corner next to the bed is a prayer bench. This, other than the fact that the bed itself is a king-size bed instead of the kind of small double beds that you guys generally slept in, and the room itself is much larger than any of the cells that you stayed in, this is 100% what you would have slept in when you were working for the Church of the Dark Lady. To the point where on the prayer bench is one of the sacred texts of the Dark Lady, and the table seems to have carved into the table itself, probably with a knife or something, little prayers and things like that you would have said as part of like penance and other things like that. Excuse me.
I assume the floor of marble.
Yep, same flooring.
So I will investigate the desk and the table. Does everything work normal?
Yeah, on the prayer bench, it's nicer than the ones that you're used to dealing with, because it has a place for kneeling, which at the Church of the Dark Lady, at least in the quarters that you stayed in, the place for kneeling was just wood, so that you weren't kneeling on stone, but it still was uncomfortable. This has really nice kind of velvet cushion there, And then the bench itself has a place that you can put a book or other things like that for you to kind of meditate while you're praying. And it's very, very nice. You actually, as you look at it, there's actually a compartment underneath where there's like a little mini bookshelf that could be there. There are no books in the bookshelf. And then, again, the sacred text is... well, go ahead and roll me... I'll let you choose investigation or perception on the book itself.
Mm. 18 investigation.
So, looking this over, you kind of just leaf through it a little bit and you realize there are notes in the margin. And it takes you a few pages to realize you recognize the handwriting. This is Terrace's personal prayer book.
Okay. Did it look rooted at all?
It looks worn, as in from heavy use. Like the edges of the pages are worn a bit from being turned, and you can see there's smudges on some of the text and things like that just from being leafed through often. The handwritten notes look to be relatively recently put in, though.
What do the notes say?
Just various. I don't know if you've ever read a Bible that has a concordance built into it. But effectively, what it is it's notes on the sacred text of like interpretations of, well, this is this, and this. In a biblical concordance, a lot of times what you'll see little like footnote things, and then when you look up the footnotes, it'll be like, the word that was used to translate this is this Hebrew word that has been translated to mean this. So basically, as if like a biblical scholar type thing, where someone that's actually studying the text is making their own notes for their own interpretation and things like that.
Does the room look like it's been rented?
Kind of. I mean, the bed itself is made, but there's no dust or anything on it. But it's the room itself is immaculately cleaned, to the point where this is not like clean because nobody's been in here. This is cleaned as in somebody has gone in and cleaned this room, probably today. So, as far as you can tell, somebody has lived in here.
I will take like the bath and see everything and see if the other anyone else for that probably
Okay. If you want, while you're looking over the desk, if you want to make me an investigation check.
22.
22. Okay. So, again, every kind of cell at the church had a desk for doing, clerical work and stuff like that. Because every so often, like some of the things that you guys would have to do would be like copying the sacred texts. Because while yes, you could use magic to recreate them, it was significantly more time effective to just have acolytes and things like that hand copy text. So you're used to seeing a desk. You're not used to seeing it carved into. That would have been something that would have gotten you reprimanded.
Yeah.
And as you look over the verses in there, all of the verses have to do with kind of strength and enduring through hardship and things like that. And as you look close enough, you realize that the top of the desk is not the only place where things have been carved. And as you kind of look around a little bit, if you go underneath the desk, you can see in one of the corners, in an almost imperceptible place, you can see a small phrase carved in there that basically said, "These thoughts are not yours. Hold fast to what is true."
Mm-hmm. Would I recognize that phrasing and being from from a verse or anything?
You don't recognize the phrase at all, and I would assume with how kind of devoted you were even before you got there, you would have read the sacred text over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So as far as you can tell, like this, you've never seen that phrase in the sacred text anywhere, and it actually, because this particular sacred text was meant to be kind of a perversion of the Dark Lady, anyways. That kind of goes against what a lot of the sacred text tended to go. Like the sacred text really encouraged, faith and trusting in the head of the order and stuff like that. Finding a phrase like this, like hold fast to what is true, would have caused a lot of issues. Because in general, when things would happen that you're like, well, wait a minute, that doesn't sound like something the Dark Lady you would be told to shut up, you don't understand what you're talking about, just trust the High Priest. And that was kind of reiterated throughout the texts over and over again. So. You do kind of looking around. I don't have it on here because I just didn't think to add it. But there is kind of a wardrobe thing, and as you go in there, you can see kind of the things that you would expect to be in there, kind of your plain clothes and that. But you also find this kind of very very nice lace and silk, almost like negligee, just not really hanging. It's on the floor of the wardrobe in kind of crumpled up in the corner, but it's really, really nice. And that is also something you have never, you would never think of Terrace ever wearing something like it.
Yeah. Again, I'm assuming that on the way, empty hangers or anything like that, to indicate that maybe she been changing clothes.
Yeah, I mean, it looks lived in. It doesn't look like there aren't enough hangers here to have like what one might consider like a full wardrobe.
Yeah.
But that again is very typical of how you lived at the church, where it was you generally had a set of clothes that you wore, and then one or two spare sets of clothes that you could wear while those were getting washed. So you would kind of rotate through like 2 or 3 different outfits that all look the same, but she always had something clean to wear. And that's kind of what you see. You can see 2 other outfits, and they're for the most part the same. Minor differences, like one has a blue blouse while another one has a white blouse. But
I'll be. Will there be a pot or anything like that?
I didn't get the last part of that word.
pockets, anything like
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
that?
You know, from your own experience, the women's clothes generally didn't include pockets.
Oh, alright.
But go ahead and roll your investigation check.
17.
Yeah, because one thing that was relatively common with some of the more kind of adventurous women is they would sew secret pockets into their clothing so that they could have pockets. And sure enough, as you're going through this, you do find a secret pocket, but there's nothing in it.
Alright. Alright, after I've kind of seen through everything, I will try to rejoin the party.
Okay. So, what do the rest of you guys want to do?
Well, I had a question. When when Rowan pokes his head in,
Mm-hmm.
does he see anything magical with
No.
his magical sense? The other thing's kind of curious, and I want to ask things like the prayer bench. And I understand the thing about the carving there, but the prayer bench as well. Doesn't that seem like antithetical to the teachings of the Dark Lady to have any form of comfort? This is Joshua the player, and like, isn't she all about? She's been misrepresented about being someone who revels in torture and suffering.
Well,
And this is showing comfort in contemplation, if not working on.
yeah,
the
it
text.
You would be aware that some, because again, one of the tenets of the faith is the idea of devotion, and so prayer benches in and of themselves were not uncommon across Crucitalia, but they generally tended to be wooded. The kneeling posts tended to be wooden or something like that, because part of kind of the penance you would pay would be like, well, look, I kneel on this hard, surface, to the point where well-used prayer benches would actually have grooves where the people's knees were. You had
This looks lovingly upholstered.
Yes, it is. 100% it is. And you had heard rumors of some like really, really high-ranking members of the church having things like that, and the kind of justification that you were told is that they are so pious and they are so devoted that without the comfort, they would wear the skin on their knees out, and they would physically cause themselves damage, and so they had to have that little extra bit of comfort. And you knew it was bullshit.
Contradiction to the very premise and tenets being spread about her.
It was 100.
She would revel in that shit. She would want that.
It was 100%. Rich people kind of justifying the fact that they didn't want to. They didn't want to have to make actual sacrifices.
Yeah, I think now that Rowan's been.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Now that Rowan's understanding, if not, awakening has been revealed, it's like, the shit seems to be a little bit more obvious now that he sees it in action.
Yeah, the hypocrisy. Until you actually acknowledge the hypocrisy, everything makes sense. And as soon as that one thing gets in your brain of, well, that didn't make sense, all the hypocrisy just becomes blatant. And I will kind of reiterate for Lillian, everything you know about Terrace, she would never request nor use something like this. Like she was very devoted, and she had no problem, bleeding a little bit for her faith.
Okay, so you guys believed in the instruction of the Dark Ladies about suffering?
Well, yeah, I mean, that was,
It was.
that was what we were taught.
Okay.
I mean, Lillian, like, one of the reasons Lillian was constantly punished was she had a hard time completely committing to this kind of bastardized version of it. And Terrace was kind of a similar way. She was just much better at hiding it than Liliane was. But she was devoted to the Dark Lady, and absent of some other message from her, she would do what she was told because she felt that was what would get her closer to the Dark Lady, which was her goal. So she knew that there was, just like Liliane, they both kind of knew that there was something wrong about this, but in absence of something better, she was going to go, you know what, I'm going to do what's necessary to show my devotion to the Dark Lady. So she was 100% a kind of person of faith, and because she was led by someone that was not of the faith, she really didn't have much else she could do other than when certain things came up, she would rebel against it. But she still would, do her praying, her praying and everything else like that, because she had nothing else. She had no idea what else to do, if that makes sense.
The second question I had, this is more going to be posted by Rowan. Almost every room we've now encountered has had a secret involved, if not a hidden passage or access.
Mm-hmm.
Is there... He's asking the group, should we be looking for that in these rooms as well?
Probably. Is
Yeah,
that
it wouldn't
would have been part of
Yeah.
what that would have been part of mine.
With how many good investigation checks, if there was something here, you think you would have found it. Like, you checked the back of the wardrobe, nothing there. Other than finding the kind of secret message on the desk, there's nothing there. The walls themselves are actual metal. And they're very, very nice, but as far as you can tell, like, there's no seams or anything where a door could go. You kind of push and pull, and as far as you can tell, there's nothing tricksy about this room other than the fact that the door locks from the outside. I would say you did discover there are some vents in various places in the room, which, being this far underground, would kind of be essential to be able to breathe.
True.
So,
If you also wanted to lock someone in there and have a vented room with something else going on inside, I wouldn't be surprised by that.
Yeah, that was my thought as well. When I come out and so well with the people with all the notes and stuff, and I mean, this meaning to you, do you make anything of it?
if you want to make a religion check, Rowan.
Should I be making this regular?
Do you have something that gives you advantage?
No, I was just wondering in regards to how this is related to what Roland's been taught, or if he's going over. Is this going to be just a straight roll?
I'll give you advantage. Like this, I mean, this is what you used to do, interpreting sacred texts and stuff like that. Like, that was part of what you were trained to do.
Well, I mean, he was keeping low profile in his village. He never.
Yeah, but you did have a mentor that kind of taught
Yes.
you. So you would have been kind of taught how to interpret the text in a specific way, and then because of your kind of crisis of faith, you would have spent more time learning to reinterpret text. So yeah, roll it with advantage. I say this is in your wheelhouse.
Oh, I would have been pissed if you'd get that. Okay. Well, the first roll, so that's a 25 total.
25. So looking at this, you're actually kind of impressed because you have seen annotated sacred texts before, and depending on who does the annotations, one of the things that tends to be extremely common is these very banal, bland interpretations of the text, where they don't look for any subtext in it. They don't look for any meaning of it. They basically just kind of restate what was put there, and it turns mostly into propaganda.
Yeah, because Roland's now understanding would be like, okay, this would not get you in trouble.
But this text in particular, like, this is really, really insightful interpretation. Like, this seems to be like biblical scholars style interpretation of the text. Like everything you read here, you go, that's actually really interesting, and that's an interesting way to interpret that passage. And
And
it
would get her a lot of trouble.
Yes and no. Like it's phrased enough in a way that it doesn't seem blasphemous, but it is very very insightful, and definitely written by someone that wasn't attempting to
Knew how
kind
to
of,
avoid trouble.
not so much. They weren't attempting to proselytize, or evangelize to someone through this. This is someone's heartfelt attempt to understand the text as best as they can and get the true meaning out of it. Which again is relatively rare in the Church of the Dark Lady because of how much of it was kind of propaganda and meant to control. This
Would
is
her insights get her in trouble?
not really, because again, they're not blasphemous. They are
No.
genuinely her asking questions and trying to figure out the text. The texts themselves are still propaganda, so they're still going to point you in a certain direction. But unlike most of the other annotations you've read, where they just kind of they pretend that there's this deep meaning behind it and try and go, oh well, that means blah blah blah. This is literally just that's a really interesting thing, and that must be referencing this. Like it's really well written.
So more insightful into the actual text in regard.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was obviously written by someone that cared about the text, as opposed to someone that was trying to sell a book, let's say. Does that make sense? Because getting a fully annotated sacred text of the Dark Lady could run you, 30, 40 gold easily. Depending on who did the annotations and things like that. And that was some of the business that happened in Cruz Italia, was selling things like that.
Hands it back. Well, she certainly seemed to have a insightful understanding into the text.
Yeah, she was definitely a thinker. What she was being private and doing the book now.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch.
And Shelly, she was being doing the book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, so as you guys open this one up, kind of similar, you see a short hallway followed by another room that's somewhat similar, but also a little bit different. This room
Boom.
still has a king-size bed. You can see on the north side of the room, there's a large table at
Workbench.
standing height, and it is covered in various tools and bits of metal and bits of mechanics and stuff like that. In the southern side, you see a strange device that you've never really seen before, highly mechanical. It seems to be kind of a combination of furnace and a few other things that you're not sure what it does. On the back wall, you can actually see little tubes that are connected to the back wall that are glowing. None of you have ever seen electric lights before, but effectively there are light bulbs in this room instead of the more traditional sconces that you see everywhere else. Very kind of mechanical. Like as soon as you kind of open the door, you get the smell of like oil in your nose.
Is this a stove?
That is the kind of furnace combination device that you're not sure everything that it does. Part of what it does is it creates heat. There are there's an opening that it seems like could get hot enough to actually be used to do some minor forging and things like that. And next to it, right here, there is kind of a little mini anvil kind of thing. Not large enough that you could ever try to like forge a sword on it or something like that, but it's large enough and solid enough that you could use it to work with small, intricate things like little cogs and stuff like that. And then again on the workbench up, you can see, bits and pieces of what look like traps and other kind of mechanisms like that.
Roland kind of dips his head back like, is this your friend's room?
Are you talking to me?
Possibly.
She looks in. Why would you think that?
Mechanical devices we've encountered quite a bit of with Maker's Marks. I don't know if would he be in something a lot more opulent than this?
Well, I get the feeling he has people who do this sort of thing for him. I'm guessing these are the rooms where he's keeping the people that he's taken.
Yeah, that was who was he? He was, the old guy, the dog, the thief,
Well,
I assume the next room is going to have a sewing machine.
yeah, that,
well, let's see here. Rowan's remembering. Joshua's looking at his notes. One of them liked chess. One was good with his hands. No one ever mentioned anything about mechanical.
but one of them was coming, you said,
The one that was good with his hands had kind of a penchant for tinkering and things like that.
I mean, that's something that
Maybe it's him. Yeah.
Vala is going to look at the third door and open it.
Okay. As it opens, again, very similar to before, short little hallway, and then you come into a room that kind of looks smaller than the others at first, and you realize that the reason why is that on all of the walls there are various curtains and claws and other things like that. In the northern part, you can see kind of a workstation with a hand crank sewing machine, and a bunch of other kind of tailoring supplies and things like that. And if you kind of examine the various things, like these are immaculately made. Like this is better quality than the stuff that you would have gotten when you were the High Inquisitor. Like this is top of the line, brilliantly created by a masterful artisan.
Hold it. So this is where they're keeping the people that they've taken.
yeah. Is what it is. Where are they now?
And then being this far up, you can see the hallway turns to the west, just after the door. And being in the doorway, you would be able to see. Here, and I totally put that door in the wrong spot. My bad. You can see there's one more door to the north. The door's supposed to be down here, and when I was building the map, I put it in the wrong spot.
I'm going to go over and inspect the door.
I couldn't get that player, whatever game it was.
So looking at the door again, just like the other doors, locking mechanism on the outside.
Okay.
Brilliant.
I will open.
It explodes.
Huzzah!
As you go in here, you are almost repulsed by the amount of just arcane bullshit around you. The walls are lined with shelves from floor to ceiling that are just full of arcane tomes and, you know, treatises on the various aspects of magic. And like this, there is just so much in this room that is just absolutely filled to the brim with magical knowledge. Again, having dealt with kind of the nicer things in life, when you were the High Inquisitor, like the value of all of these arcane tomes is probably a small fortune's worth of magical knowledge. And locking even just a minor, a slightly talented magic user in a room like this for, you know, a few months, they would come out being incredibly skilled with magic, just with all of the knowledge that is contained within here.
Guys, there's a lot of magic books in here. I'm just trying to piece out why we were brought down here, why we were led down here to these rooms.
Going the extent of his production?
Maybe.
Look at the high quality work I have just being churned out. People are turning in resource materials, and talented people are going missing. He wants to show off.
He does like to show off. Is he trying to offer us a job? Come, join my team. Live in these luxurious prisons. See how powerful I am. I will even show you behind the curtain.
Has anyone ever talked to you about multi-level marketing dungeons?
I mean,
Tunk, 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 tunk. Avon lady,
I don't know. I heard they have health and dental.
and you can be your own boss. Like, I don't think you guys understand. Like, you decide when you work.
I have I have an artificer, and he just came with this wonderful thing called Tupperware.
I mean, that is how I got the job as High Inquisitor. Somebody came to the door one day, asked me, you know, did I want to start a revolution?
I figured it was someone selling tents.
Who told you about that? I was young and needed the money.
You sell your friend 5 tents, they sell their friend 5 tents.
I guess we keep going down the hallway, see what we find.
Okay. So as you go down the hallway, you eventually see it loops forward, and then it opens up into a very large room.
I am curious before we move on to that.
Sure.
When Relwyn's sense is still, if that's still going, is the room just flooded with magic in there?
These are magic knowledge texts.
Yeah.
They're not actual magical books, so they're no more magical than a library book.
Does it seem like the ambient magic is more in here, or less, or about the same?
It doesn't seem like a lot of magic was cast in this room.
Doesn't that seem strange for someone studying so much?
Well, you know,
Going off by your own reference of like someone should be very powerful coming out of this.
Yeah, the room itself is not really conducive to being able to practice magic. It's too small to practice. This would be mostly theoretical knowledge. You would assume there would need to be another location where they would actually be able to cast their spells. Because there's just not enough room in here to be able to really, like, you only have like one little area where you could put a magic circle, which for a lot of higher end magic almost requires it. And if a magic circle had been used in here, you would see burn marks for at the very least of where, you know, the magic is kind of scorched into the earth, and there's nothing in here that would indicate this. So this seems to be purely theoretical, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Still a lot of really, really great quality information, but there's nowhere in here to make any practical attempts. So, yeah, no more magic prone than anywhere else you've seen thus far.
Okay.
As you guys look in, you eventually discover this very large open room. The room itself, again, massive, but fairly featureless. Rowan, as you come in, this room is soaked in magic. A lot of magic has been cast here over and over and over and over again. Looking in the room itself, you can see in the northern part there is this very large, immaculate, throne-like chair. And then to the south of them there are 4 much more plain chairs. And in each chair, a different person sits. In the far east, there is a very much older gentleman, long white beard, bald head, who has a staff that is obviously magically enchanted in his hand, just kind of looking at you, old enough that you think he shouldn't be able to do much because he just looks older than sin, but despite the frailness of his body, he seems very strong. You go to the opposite side on the west, you can see, I have to remember which one is which. You can see someone dressed in relatively plain clothes. Despite the fact that the clothes themselves are plain, they're made out of very nice fabrics, like they're silks and things like that. And they don't seem to have any weapons or anything on them, and they're just kind of sitting there staring at you. You go to
Lady, the man, presenting.
That's a male.
Fine silks male.
In the next chair next to that, you can see a younger man, probably in his 20s, that you can see a large crossbow sitting next to his chair. You can see a few different kind of weapons on him, but each one seems kind of custom made and kind of modified in some way. And the crossbow itself looks very different to any crossbow you have ever seen before. You can also see little kind of vials and potion bottles all over his body on like a bandolier and things like that. And he's just kind of looking at you out of the top of his eyes. And then the final one, you see Terrace sitting there. But unlike her kind of normal set of clothes that you're used to seeing her in, she's wearing full plate with the symbol of the Dark Lady emblazoned on the breastplate. She has a shield on one arm that also has the symbol of the Dark Lady. You can see a holy symbol hanging from her neck. And she's currently helmetless, but you can see a helmet sitting on the floor next to her chair. You can see this kind of massive flail sitting next to her chair as well. And then in the large throne, you see the bloody Fang that unlike everyone else who's just kind of sitting there normally, he's kind of laid out across the arms of his chair, relaxing. You can see a glass of wine, you would assume, in his hand. Behind him, built into the wall, is this massive brass statue, easily 25, 30 feet high, that is of the bloody Fang. And he's just kind of looking at his one hand extended in this kind of very very kind of altruistic pose where he looks like he's just kind of reaching forward to the future. You see him as he's sitting there. It's like, well, you guys are slow. Oh my gods. Just, I thought you would have been here hours ago. You dub-dubs are dumber than I thought. That is impressive.
Well, there were some safety concerns. There's very shoddy workmanship.
You see, like, you watch as his jaw tightens a little bit. Should you like my my little adventure for all you guys? Wasn't that really cool? I was rather proud of it. I mean,
oh, kind of like look at the others. It's kind of boring, honestly.
You know, you're trying to get under my skin and it's not going to work. I know how amazing it was because I made it. Do you know how many people have just come in and the first thing they think to do is to jump into the dark hole? Like every single time I just watched, it was hilarious. It was my most favorite thing ever.
Did you make it or did you have someone else make it?
I mean, why does that matter? It's here. And
because one person built it, the other person takes credit.
You know what?
I mean,
your friends, like, the quality level has gone down, Argenta. Like, you used to have really great friends, and it just seems like you're scraping the bottom of the barrel here. You really, really should, be trying to get better friends. You know, maybe smarter ones, because these dum-dums, they don't recognize a masterpiece when they look at it.
He wants to be your friend. He thinks he should be your friend.
I mean, with the caliber of enemies she has. Are you even an enemy? Acquaintance?
Well, it seems like... Yeah, I seem to remember you walking into a room and then getting put full of holes as you fell to the ceiling. So which one of us is the dumb one? The one that just walked into a room blatantly and got turned into a pincushion, or the one that created it?
I mean,
it was an obvious trap. As soon as you saw the seed, pointy things on the ceiling, completely open room, how do you not suspect reverse gravity? Like, this is easy stuff. Any adventurer worth their weight in pillow fluff would have been able to see that a mile away. And he turns back to Argenta. Dum-dum, you have all of these stupid people working with you. Why would you choose these idiots? Your old group was much, much smarter. They were still a bunch of dum-dums. I mean, and then when they exploded, that was amazing.
You just realized that everything you've just stated, that everything that you had masterly crafted here is subpar? You just said everyone should have seen through this blatantly simple, stupid traps you had set forth.
No.
You've literally just said someone should have seen these blatantly through all this blatant, simplistic thing set right in front of them.
Large room with spiky bits at the top screamed a trap. By the time you guys had wandered through trap after trap after trap after trap, There was no reason to disguise it anymore. You knew it was you should have known it was going to be a trap. Anyone with a brain, so why would I hide it at that point? I hid the other traps. I hid them very well because you set off almost every single one of them. Like, there was only, 3 or 4 traps you guys didn't just step on? Like, it was impressive at that point just how often you guys would fall for it. I halfway expected you to get eaten by the mimics.
My God, your voice is grating.
Argenta, what were you thinking when you teamed up with these ignoramus? They're just... You used to have standards, is what I'm saying. And yes, I turned those standards into burned mush. Because those standards just really weren't high enough. But who has high standards, watch them get blown to smithereens because they were stupid, and then goes and lowers their standards to these morons? I mean, who does that?
She just kind of looks at Vala, so what's just here? Do we bring them back to their rooms? Like, she's ignoring.
It really is important to him that you see how smart he is.
It's not important to me. Everybody
Really?
knows how brilliant I am.
Brilliant people don't need to tell people how brilliant they are every like 5 times in a 1-minute conversation.
Yeah, and this coming from the failed cleric that can't even, can't even understand his own religion. Sure, no, yeah, we'll let you decide what smart people do, dum dum.
See, there he goes again. It's so important. It's so important to him.
Who uses the word dum-dum?
Argenta, I really think that the fact that you are finally here is fortuitous. I mean, we have spent so long in our game of little cat and mouse where you were hunting me and I was hunting you, except for the fact that I was significantly better at it, so you never found me. And then I got in contact with the Dark Lord, and he gave me some cool ideas, and he gave me this, and he pulls out a wand like this. This is... All the ideas were mine. Everything.
You just said that you got a death from the Dark Lord.
So I didn't hear the last part of that. I'm really sorry.
You just said that you got great ideas for the Dark Lord.
Well,
Therefore, they're not your ideas.
Well, he inspired my ideas. When you work with someone who is truly talented and truly skilled, they bring out the best in you as well. And the Dark Lord, this is someone that's on almost the same level as I am. I mean, really, the only reason that I'm not running this whole place is blood magic is a bitch.
I was wondering if you would say about what you say now. I said he was love to hear you say that you think you can rule it better than him.
Oh, he knows that I'm better at this. That's why he's given me so much here. He knew that he needed to show deference to the true brilliant mind, and so he gave me all of this. I mean, look at what I've got. And he keeps kind of waving this down. You guys don't even care about this, do you? You don't even deserve to know what this is. And you watch him just kind of wave his hand and it goes away.
As he's speaking, I'm going to start using prestidigitation.
Mm-hmm.
starting off very quiet and making it louder and louder, just fart noises every time he talks.
The guy from Police Academy.
Yep.
What are the components of prestidigitation? Is it just somatic or is it verbal as well?
Might
can't
be.
remember.
It might be both.
It is verbal and somatic.
Yeah, because it's performative.
So as you keep doing this, you just kind of like you hold your hand up like this, and he goes, "Well, the older gentleman just kind of slams his staff on the ground, and he goes, "Silence!" And an area of silence envelops where you guys are. And unfortunately, because of how silence works, that also means you can't hear what he's saying. So you just see him go.
Yeah.
After he goes on for about a month, he's for a minute.
No,
he
he-
goes.
Yeah, you see him go on for about like 2 or 3 minutes, and then you just watch him go. And he just starts kind of like you see him kind of yelling at him, and the wizard
You're
just
on.
kind of,
You're on mute. You have to touch the mic. You're on mute.
and they have this conversation, and you watch him finally just go, and suddenly the silence goes away, and he's like, "So maybe this time you won't act stupid, and I won't have to silence you."
You silenced yourself.
No, the spell was cast on you. Like, how are you so stupid that you don't know how silence
but-
works?
You
I think it was worth it.
Okay, just everyone stop, okay? We're not talking about this anymore. We're done with this. You guys have come here. You get to see my super cool people that are all my friends now, and they all work for me. And now and now we're done with this, okay? I was nice to you. I let you see behind the curtain. I let you see how everything works because Argenta, we've been through so much together, and you you really you've been such an arrogant asshole your entire life. And so I thought it was finally time for you to see what a true mastermind, what a truly talented mercenary leader actually looks like. Because your little wolf pack, your little group of thugs that you brought together that all died so easily. Like, they were pathetic. They were insults to mercenaries, and they deserved to die. And if you had been a better leader, they wouldn't be dead right now. But you weren't. You were just horrible and disgusting and worthless. And now you have done exactly what I wanted you to do. Again, you went through my entire little puzzle, failing over and over and over again, wasting precious resources before you got here. And now, as you can see, I have my dream team in front of you, ready to kill all of you. And once I'm done, the Dark Lord is going to reward me for getting rid of one of his biggest thorns in his side. And none of you guys were smart enough to realize that. I mean, you carried around the things that I used to track where you were. Blatantly.
As he's talking, where is he looking?
He's looking directly at you.
Okay.
He seems almost oblivious to everyone else. Like every time they've talked, like he'll acknowledge every so often, but he always comes back to you.
While he's talking, I'm gonna enter the room and start just kind of moving this way.
Okay.
when we start walking, before we start walking in, he sees the thing. The Rowan does go. These these thoughts are not your own.
And are you trying to say that to Terrace?
To no to little Tavala and anyone else.
Oh, okay.
Like, he says like these thoughts are not your own.
Hmm.
So
Is
Rowan
anyone else going to walk into the room at all?
will take a step in.
Okay.
I'm just curious. Have you ever told the truth once in your life?
I mean, the truth is just for people that aren't creative enough to come up with a good lie.
Oh,
Why let the truth get in the way of a perfectly
sweet
good
summer
story?
child. Oh, sweet summer child. Don't even talk to me about stories. All stories are true, especially the good ones.
As Val is talking, does he look at her?
He will kind of acknowledge by glancing over every so often, but even when he's talking about how, like, the truth is only for people that aren't smart enough to lie, he tends to keep redirecting it back towards you.
Okay. When she's just gonna be watching him, and when he glances one time as she's kind of reading a pattern, she's gonna try and prime transition right in front of him.
Interesting. Hmm. As you teleport forward, you feel the familiar sensation of the teleportation. It has this kind of accelerating feeling to it, where you just kind of boom. But as you go, you feel like you hit a brick wall. And I'd like a Constitution saving throw, please.
That is a 30.
30. You fail, unfortunately. As you hit this wall, you lose concentration for just a second on what you were doing, and you panic for just the tiniest bit amount of time that, especially with teleportation magic, if it's not done correctly, and like you lose concentration in the middle of it or something, you could end up teleporting into a wall or into the floor and end up killing yourself. So you have just this tiniest moment of, oh, this could be very, very bad, and then you just completely shrug it off because your mind is far too powerful to be influenced by something as simple as hitting a wall. And which figure are you? This is this you, right?
I was by the door down here.
Okay, so this is you here that I just moved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you get there, you stop right here, and you see this shimmering field of energy in front of you, and your body itself is sore. Not like outright like you've been beaten or something, but like you've just exerted yourself really, really hard. Like that muscle pain after a good workout.
Mhm.
And you see the Bloody Flame going, you thought I would let you get near me? Oh, you're so much dumber than I thought. Nothing you can do can harm me. I am invulnerable. I am invincible. You have to deal with my friends now, and they're going to be very mad that you just tried to hurt their buddy. And you see Terrace just reach down and pick up this massive flail and start moving towards you.
Mhm.
Did you have something you wanted to say, Vala?
Yes, I would like to cast Vicious Mockery on him.
As you conjure the spell, nothing happens. It's almost as if you were counterspelled, but nothing was counterspelling you. The magic doesn't hold.
You son of a bitch!
Terrace turns to you, Argenta, and she grabs your cloak and tries to spin you around. She goes, "You need to step away from my lord."
I just look at Terrace. You don't want this.
And you can see moisture around her eyes. But other than that, that seems like the only thing that's kind of bleeding through. "You will not be told again. Step back before I move you. No one threatens my lord."
Argento will step to here. If she just said the step back.
Mm-hmm. And she's going to
And
kind of move and position herself in between you and the Bloody Fang.
and then she'll cast haste on herself.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try and grab Terrace.
I need to go to a stat block. See if she can do anything. Yeah, okay. So, go ahead and make your, it's an athletics check.
Yep.
Versus her
Athletics or acrobatic.
lack of either of those. She's trained in intimidation. Are you intimidated? That's actually not a bad roll. It's going to pale in whatever you roll, because you're a freaking barbarian. But what'd you get? I got a dirty 20.
I got a 25.
25. In this specific instance, we're using golf rules. So yeah, you see her and describe exactly what you're doing as far as like how you, because she's wearing full plate. So exactly how are you going to kind of grapple her?
One hand, kind of where like the helm, where like the coif of the helmet would be, where it meets the neck. Argenta's putting one hand in there to kind of like yank her down, and then the other hand around her back.
So you trying to like half Nelsoner kind of thing, or just
like make it awkward for her so that she can't, see like straight up, and Argenta can kind of manhandle her a bit.
Okay, I'm just gonna tell you right now, this is a Me Too moment just waiting to happen. I'm gonna put that out there right now. No, I'm kidding. I promise. Yeah, she seems pissed. Like as you sit there, she instantly kind of grabs at your hand, and you watch as she starts squeezing around your hand. And to anyone else, you would expect, because she's remarkably strong. And as her hands kind of closed around your hand, you would kind of expect like the sound of bone crunching and, to be in immense pain. But you are such a kind of muscle powerhouse that nothing happens. Like your hands, which there's not a whole lot of muscles in your hand. Despite that fact, it's solid enough and your grip is solid enough that as she tries to do that and you watch her trying to twist your hand away, it's not working. And you see her start to panic a little bit. And instead of like attacking you or anything, she just looks back at the Bloody Fang. And he goes, "What are you doing? You're making me look bad."
I can fix that.
Come on, we're putting you on timeout. What? I'm using my hasted speed. 3,
I will
4,
say,
yeah.
if you're remaining grappled, you move at half speed while you're grappling someone.
And then I'm doubled because I'm hasted.
Yeah, I'm just making sure you're aware.
Yeah.
So you bring her
So
with you.
3, 4, 5. It's 30 because I'm a barbarian. 35, 40.
So you bring her all the way down here. You see the bloody Fang. That's mine!
Mm-hmm.
Just for my own sick pleasure. Exactly what do you like as you're dragging her? Are you like half Nelson dragging her back? Is that, or are you just kind of like pulling her behind you like a toy truck?
I'm facing the bloody Fang, but I'm just kind of dragging her on her feet.
I like that. Yes, Rowan.
I would like to know if like this couldn't have been teed up better. You drive back here. Okay, we can obviously deal with the fact that he's infatuated with you and that he's doing this all to impress you and your friend here, and as he touches Terrace, he casts at 5th level Dispel Magic. Rowan is
I need a roll.
Because he is familiar, we have encountered the Gauge spell before.
Yep. However, this is cast at a higher level.
Okay,
so
enough.
It still needs a. I think it's an Arcana check. I want to say is how Dispel Magic works for higher stuff.
If it's for me, wouldn't it be my spell modifier?
It's your spell casting modifier, so it's Wisdom.
Oh yeah, so it'd be a spell attack roll effectively.
Okay.
So whatever your spell attack modifier is, should be Wisdom plus proficiency.
4. Well, I'm sorry. Spell attack would be plus 11.
Yeah. So it's a. Well, is it? I have to look at this spell. I'm really sorry, guys.
That's fine.
Because I've forgotten how this works, and this is a really important.
Yeah.
Or actually,
if you want to go by the rules on that on the spell magic, we can do that way.
Actually, I just realized. I'm still going to look up Dispel Magic because.
Yeah. So I do know if I don't hit the level, I still have to roll. It doesn't do anything for modifying. It's either you hit it or you don't, then you have to roll.
Make an ability check using your spell. Yeah, so it's just an ability check using your spellcasting ability. So it's a wisdom check. So you don't add your proficiency to it. And before you can get the spell off, you hear words of power being uttered, and the spell breaks as the wizard casts counterspell on you.
Did he cast at 5th level?
Can I counterspell the counterspell?
If you would like. What level are you casting your counterspell at? Actually, no, because Dispel Magic is
Well, at the base, Dispel Magic is 3rd, but that's why I was asking, was he casting it at 5th level?
So if you cast Dispel Magic at 5th level, he needs to roll. Or not roll. He didn't cast Dispel Magic, he has Counterspell, but he still has to roll.
Or Counterspell, yeah.
Yeah, because it works effectively the same way.
Okay, so does that mean it might be moot. Is Vala casting?
I'm going to cast it at a 3rd level.
Okay, so he recognized Dispel Magic. Dispel Magic is a 3rd level spell. There was no reason for him to cast it at a higher level because you were casting a 3rd level spell. And a 3rd level spell is a 3rd level spell no matter what spell slot you're using, you're just pumping it up. So what he saw, because Counterspell is a visual thing, what he saw was you casting a 3rd level spell. He cast a 3rd level spell.
But because I knew of Gaish, I was casting it 5th.
Yeah. So he would have made a roll because Counterspell can still work on higher levels. But as he was doing that, another Counterspell started. So I still need a Wisdom check. So just D20 plus Wisdom.
For the spell. Okay. And I am going to use my Inspiration so I can get advantage on this.
D&D Blue Magic.
Took me a little bit because I was thinking Blue Magic is in Final Fantasy. I'm like, what monsters that have Counterspell?
Okay. 12 on the die with the advantage from the Inspiration, plus my Wisdom modifier, So that will be 17.
As you focus and try to remove this spell, it doesn't work.
So that'd be a 7th level spell or higher?
If it was a 7th level spell, it would have been dispelled, so it has to be 8th level or higher.
Okay.
So as you sit there, you hear the Dark Lord go, kill them. And I'd like everyone to roll initiative for me.
Son of a.
However, you were able to get rid of the counterspell, so.
Yeah, that's something. Well, I can still do it on my turn, I guess.
That was really brilliant, by the way, Rowan, because that was...
Well, he doesn't have an original thought, and he obviously is not above a gauge spell.
All right, so we're going to start with... Rowan, what did you roll?
Oh, I immediately clicked off it. Just saying there. Sorry, yeah, so 12.
12, okay. Vala? Porky?
10.
Argenta? Just pick some high number. I've given up trying to beat you in initiative. Argenta, you there?
Does
17.
17.
Does
thank
haste affect initiative in fifth edition?
you. I don't think so.
No, I get other bonuses, but
Yeah,
not
bonus
initiative.
to movement, bonus to AC. However, when it ends, bad things happen. I will say, because it lasts for a minute, right?
Mm-hmm.
I will say this entire encounter thing took about 30 seconds, so you still have 5 turns of it left.
All right.
Liliane?
10.
10. Cool. So, as everything starts kind of getting chaotic, the wizard is going to... Or no, the tinker guy is going to start off, and... Yeah, he you watch as he takes a vial from his bandolier, and he throws it, and I'm going to draw on here. So it's going to hit. Yeah, it's going to hit right here. So it's
If you're drawing anything, we're not seeing it.
Give me a second. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so big circle here. Can you guys see the black circle?
Yeah.
I can, yeah.
Okay. So that entire area is just covered in smoke. And that is his action. And he's just going to move...
I'm going to wonder if this is like the cloud thing where it works both ways or not.
and he's just going to kind of move behind his chair. The chair really doesn't offer much cover, but it kind of blocks line of sight slightly because it's a big chair. It's not a super solid chair, but he's kind of hiding behind it a little bit. And that is everything. Argenta, I realize this is mostly pointless to ask for, but it's in the rules, so I need a con save.
25.
If you can get under 20, just once, just for me. The smoke itself is incredibly noxious and just smells of like sulfur and acid, and you have that kind of metallic taste in the back of your mouth. But as you start feeling it start to affect your muscles, you just shake it off. And then you hear a Barry Sack start going ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, and then Taylor Swift comes in for some odd reason. What do you want to do?
So I'm holding Terrace though, right?
You are currently still grappling her, yes.
All right, we're going on a ride. Here we go.
Okay.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Checking my speed really fast. Yeah, 40. Okay, so that's my movement. Action dash 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Hasted action dash. We're in a room.
Do you guys want to order dinner?
So
I know what you're gonna do.
I mean,
God damn it.
like, great. Like, you just ditched the party. There's nothing they can do to stop you.
I know what you're gonna do.
So
Do you
I
have any
recommend
movement
a
left?
red wine with this.
Do you have any
So-
movement left?
if free object interaction, can I
Sure.
close the door?
Sure, if
Okay,
you'd like to.
I let her go. I close the door.
Are you gonna lock it too?
Yeah.
I'll say that's part of the same object interaction. Sure.
And then bonus action,
Oh, God
I
damn it.
use my cloak to come back to the point I teleported from.
Wow.
It dawned on me when you dart like, oh god damn it.
Wow. I didn't even think of that.
I thought you were gonna unload. It's just like, don't
So-
kill innocent people, and you're
So, the exact correct phrase that should be used here is go fuck yourself. Holy shit. You have no idea what you've just done. You have no idea, you absolute asshole. Anything else you want to do? You want a pony?
That is my entire turn. That is why I casted haste on myself.
You asswipe.
that came out of left field. I thought you were gonna unload and just like do DPS shit on innocent people.
This dude's gonna run up and just beat the snot out of Vala because he has nothing else he wants to do right now.
Excellent. Wait.
Yeah. So first attack, 24 versus AC.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay. Second attack, nat 20 versus AC.
Denied.
Okay. Well, third attack is another nat 20 versus AC.
Okay, well only one nat
Yeah.
20. Okay, so one nat 20 hit you as opposed to two.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the
On
two.
the,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say on the first one of those, I'm gonna cast Hellish Rebuke at 5th level.
Okay.
There are innocent people, okay.
We
So
have to
let's-
survive this.
I know.
Let's start off with first one as he hits you. You notice that his fist never actually connects with you, but you feel this kind of spectral fist hit you, and you go flying. You kind of spit some blood. The blood kind of bursts into flame, and you kind of throw it at him. Roll your or is that a save or
That is a dexterity saving throw.
dexterity saving throw?
God damn, just not a Trainer Jody session without a monk thrown at us, huh?
It's not as bad as it could be. 23.
No shit, I know how you build monks.
Yeah, the dexterity saving throw is 18, so
Okay.
it takes 2d10 fire damage on a failed save or half as much on a successful. For every, so it's 2d10 at level 1. For every spell slot of second level or higher, the damage increases by 1d10. So this will be 6d10
Well, the
Okay.
question is, does he evade?
plus. He evades, so it's 6d10 plus 5 cut into half.
This particular stat block does not have evasion.
Okay.
Because, yes, this isn't actually a character. This is a monster stat block. So roll the damage, cut it in half.
So 46 plus 5 51 cut in half, 25
Really?
fire damage.
51 damage from a hellish rebuke? Shit.
Level 5.
What did you say the damage was? I'm sorry.
Fire damage. 25 fire damage.
25. Thank you. After doing that, he kind of gets burned, and he comes with an uppercut, and he's just about to hit you in the liver, which is not a good spot to be hit. And right as he's hitting it, Relwyn, you notice that, oh, this looks bad. And so you kind of reach into the weave, and you just kind of move it slightly, and it just hits you in the gut, knocks your wind out of you a little bit. The first attack did 10 points of damage. The second attack does 10 points of damage. The third attack does 15 points of damage.
You said 15?
Yes.
Okay.
So
I'm still alive.
So grand total
for now.
Grand total of 35, I think, if my math is correct. Okay.
Sounds right.
And then he's gonna stick there. He's not gonna move at all. Cool. Relwyn, what do you want to do?
Okay. Can't really move much.
Oh, first things first, I need a con save from you.
Okay, yep, okay. Once nat 20.
You fail. Just because I've decided it. You're fine.
Ah, licorice. Ah.
So again, that really kind of noxious smell, the burning in the back of your throat, but again, you start feeling your muscles start to go lax, and you're like, no, not today, Satan!
Anise, really?
What else do you want to, or what do you actually want to do? See, that happened
10,
before you got to do
20.
anything.
Roland's having a choice. He's like, he's going to keep going with the game plan right now. He's going to go over to this person right there, and he's still going to hope this is going to work. And I hate to do this. Come on. Scroll. 7th level to spell magic.
Okay, unfortunately, you still need to roll for me.
Yep. So still rolling. Okay, great. All right. Come on. Same thing. 17.
Okay. So, as you sit there and you focus on it, there's no counterspell that happens. But as you focus, again, you see the kind of magic fueling it, and you can tell this is an incredibly powerful spell, and you're trying to get out of it. Nothing happens.
Let's see there. And my bonus action. Yeah, I'm gonna hold up on that. I'm good.
Okay, cool. Vala and Liliane, you guys tied. Who wants to go first?
After you.
What was it, the wizard?
The wizard is this one right here, and I need a con save before you do anything. I can, just to make this slightly more interesting. Here we go. Now the audience can see, and I can move this over so you guys can actually see this. This is what they're looking at. And that's the wizard, and this is all the smoke.
It will be 12.
12 is a failure, unfortunately. You are... Nobody's failed yet. I have to remember what it does. You are poisoned for the next minute.
Alright.
So effectively, attack rolls and ability checks are all disadvantaged now.
Alright. I will move. I get 5 and I will hit the visit with two of my swords. Trying to do damage for damage.
All right. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
That would be 26.
Misses, unfortunately. Yeah, of course that hits.
And that was one. It will be 11 points of damage.
Okay.
And then I will do super to powers of my second attack. And that will be a 22.
Also hits. Go ahead and roll the damage.
That will be 9 points of damage.
All right. So as you come up and you kind of smack him with your the pommel of your blade, you see him kind of go down. He looks up at you again. You smack him again.
Oh wait, I think I have the advantage. I don't attack. But I got a 24. Yeah, oh, they would all hit me goes with.
Yeah. So you hit him twice, and you see he checks to see if he's bleeding. He just kind of looks at you. That was a mistake. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
No.
All right. Vala, what you want to do?
Oh,
Vala boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you?
I mean, if you can do the spell magic, you're pretty much gonna have to roll. I've tried, unless you're doing an 8th level, you're gonna have to roll. But that's if you're doing that.
8th level? Spells don't go that high. I mean, we all know, like, they stop at 5th level. That's it. And honestly, even that is beyond my capabilities at this point. 3rd level is pushing it. But you know what's not? Darkness. So I'm going to turn to our friend up in the chair and just be like, you know what? I know this is painful for you to watch, so I'm going to spare you that. I'm going to cast Darkness.
And
centered there.
Sorry, I didn't see where it was. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't. Centered there. In between the green and red chairs.
Gotcha. As you cast it, you feel the magic start taking effect, and the counter spell takes effect.
Now, did he counter or did the wizard counter?
The wizard.
I would say let it go. It's a darkness spell.
Yeah, and I'm using drow magic to cast this. That doesn't change anything because it's drow magic. I know the spell.
It's still casting a spell. It just casts it at second level.
I'm just hoping.
Anything else you want to do?
Um,
You had a cool dude like standing right next to you that I think wants a hug.
yes.
He'd probably be super happy if you just walked away from him.
I will. I will.
You can move through a friendly space.
I will. I will use a bardic inspiration.
Okay.
Is this Relwyn next to me?
Yeah.
I will turn to Relwyn and give bardic inspiration by saying, "Hey, do you know why I was kicked out of a tavern? I was barred. Get it? I was barred." And then I'll turn to the other guy and go, "That was legitimately funny. Come on."
Just dead eyes looking at you.
I really don't want that to be the last thing I hear before I die.
But then you'll just have to live.
So
We'll take them downtown. We'll be around things.
Now I have a reaction, wizard asshole.
all right. So
Sorry, what's your inspiration?
I believe it's a D10.
D10. Thank you.
Yep.
so many things he can do, so little time. So, he sees, he kind of looks at Liliane. He just goes, "You are not worth my time." And you watch him start to blink out of existence as he misty steps away to over here.
Does anyone have Mage Slayer, please? God. Guessing not.
And then
Nope.
yeah, you watch as he starts kind of conjuring a spell.
I guess the staff is letting him teleport? Counting two. I was just curious because he's casting 2-level spells.
Oh, you're 100% right. No, he's still going to conjure a spell. He's just not going to conjure a leveled spell. Thank you for pointing that out, though.
I don't know what bullshit you gave these guys.
Yeah, he is going to... Yeah, he's going to target Vala, and you watch him start conjuring. You see this bolt of flame go charging towards you.
I'm not even gonna block it.
Okay, well, it's a 22 to hit.
Okay. That hits. I'm just saying I'm not gonna use counterspell.
And it does 21 points of fire damage as it goes and...
What kind of cantrip does that?
Cantrip cast by an 18th level spellcaster.
Yeah, how many hit him? Oh no, that's Scorching Ray.
This is just a...
The cantrip still levels up though.
Yeah.
Okay.
So...
Well, Vala is looking rough.
And that's all he can do because the DM forgot that the whole bonus action spellcasting thing is a bitch that everyone has to deal with. So Yeah, he that was his bonus
Just a-
action.
Just a reminder, I'm running low because I've been healing you guys.
He's going to move back just a little bit more to avoid having to deal with anyone getting close to him. And that ends his turn. And then you guys can't tell what's going on right now, but go ahead.
Sorry. Can I use my reaction to cast Hellish Rebuke again?
Yes, you can.
Cool. I'm gonna cast this at 3rd level.
Okay.
So he needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
Well, as you are probably aware, 9th level spellcasters have incredible dexterity saves. And by incredible, I mean, well, he got a 21. Because I rolled a 19 on the die.
He's fragile.
He took a punch from the game. That could also mean he's ignoring pain under a gauge.
So 14 points of fire damage.
14
I was
points.
28 cut in half.
Okay. 14. He seems less than thrilled. So he sits there and he kind of throws the firebolt as it hits you. Like you could see, like the skin is charred underneath and you're bleeding a little bit. You just go, "Oh no! This is how you use fire," and it goes and kind of engulfs him, and he just looks at you and he dusts the soot off, cracks his neck, and gets ready for the next round. And then going back to Terrace, you guys have no idea what's happening, but Argenta, you hear the sound of splintering wood.
So he did metal walls, but he did wood doors.
They're really, really pretty wood doors. And she rolls like I do. So unfortunately, yeah, you could hear the sound of wood splintering, but it doesn't sound like the door broke. Because I rolled like shit. And she's just going to chill in her room like she was grounded. Again, go fuck yourself, Argenta. The poisonous cloud dissipates at the beginning of this turn.
Sorry, Jody, I do have a clarification because
Sure.
you said this is a guy with a silk. This doesn't look like Felicity, right?
No.
Okay.
You haven't seen Felicity.
Okay, because Felicity was a tailor and he's wearing silk, so I was curious.
Yeah. For whatever reason, you just don't see Felicity. He fits the idea of a tailor because he's wearing nice clothes, but it's definitely not Felicity, unless Felicity has changed a lot since the last time she was described. But the Tinkerer dude is going to... Yeah, he's going to look at Vala, and he takes out his crossbow, and he aims it and fires a bolt at her for... That's interesting. From what I see, it looks like a 15, but what it registered as is a 7. So 14 versus your AC, Vala?
Thank the merciful gods that does not hit.
So the first bolt comes, and you can see the bolt itself seems to have a tiny little vial at the end of the bolt that, as it hits the wall behind you, you see this little kind of burst of force magic, and you see this little residue of poison on it. And then he reloads and fires again.
Vala will go, ah!
17.
That matches my armor.
So you take 11 points of force damage and 9 points of poison damage as you go, ha! And then boom! Psh!
And boom.
God damn it.
Vala is rendered unconscious. as he just kind of chills behind his chair. Argenta, how else do you want to ruin my plans?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. I'm going to grapple.
Okay. You're really going to piss me off, aren't you? Make your athletics check.
Put him in the wizard room.
What is it? Let's say 30.
I got a 26. That's a good roll. If he got a nat 20, he could not have rolled high enough. Yes, you grappled him.
5. So I used 35 to get there. I had a total of 85, so I have 55 cut in half, which is 25 now.
Okay.
So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Action dash. 5. 10.
You had to use your action to grapple.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Hasted action dash.
Okay.
15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And I'm chilling with him here.
He flips you off. Anything else you want to do?
Yeah, but it's like this.
So that was my action, hasted action, movement. So that's everything.
Do you have a bonus action you want to use just for shits and giggles?
Not one I can't bring him with me with, so no.
So he turns to you.
Yes.
Very much annoyed by what you were doing. Seeing what you're doing, he's just gonna sit there and he's kind of looking at the fact that you've literally just come over and went boom and then dragged him kicking and screaming. So he's gonna look at you, go like this, whisper a word of power, and vanish
The fuck?
as he casts Dimension Door and appears next to Vala. Or not Vala, Liliane. There we go. However, he is completely out of those, so. And that is his action. For a bonus action, he's not going to do anything. Because he had to use his damn action. He's gonna continue to flip you off through the wall. Relwyn, what do you want to do?
Rowan really has he's like he knows what he's going to have to do. Rowan is going to use his 8th level spell, and he is going to. Where is it? Sorry, trying to get the right. There it is. It's Conjure. He's going to use Conjure Celestial, 8th level.
Ooh. And Conjure Celestial is normally, you're not upcasting it, right?
It's 8th level.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah, the spell
At
cast...
higher levels, it does cast. Well,
You-
when you cast, I have to use a 9th level spell to upcast.
Yeah, no, I'm just
Yeah.
the actual
Yeah.
spell level, because again,
It's
it's
eighth.
going to
It's
going
8th.
to change what happens. So, yeah,
I don't know if Wizard Friend can even do that or not, but maybe he can.
he's gonna counterspell it.
Does it counterspell? Does it go off?
Yeah, he casts counterspell at 8th level.
Oh, so he did cast it 8th level. Okay, well,
Yeah, he wasn't gonna. When he sees you conjuring a celestial, he's like, "No, that's a bad idea."
well, does he know what I'm conjuring? That's what I think that is.
well, yeah, I get
like,
it's that's why I asked what the actual
Oh,
spell
so-
level is, because he's gonna assume you're casting it at the base level, because that's what he recognizes the spell as an 8th level spell. So he casts
okay.
counterspell at 8. If you had upcast it, he would have had to roll for it. That's why he had to roll. He would have had to roll when you cast a spell.
So
magic.
he just knew 8th level. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
He recognized the spell.
Yeah, great. Fucking bullshit. Whatever.
Sorry. Spellcasters can be bitches sometimes.
Yeah, apparently they get all that shit off. Okay, cool. Awesome. Bonus action, spare the dying on Vala, and he's going to drag her 15 feet.
Okay.
5, 10, 15. Awesome.
All right. Luliang, you have a friend next to you.
I will try to attack him with Naruto.
Go for it.
And get him so
Oh, you get a save at the end of your turn.
oh,
So at the end of your last turn, you would have made a save.
oh. But that was a 2, so
I will say saves are not affected by the poison, so you wouldn't be rolling disadvantage. But that's not good enough, so you're still poisoned. Now you can make your attack rolls.
alright. The first one would be 12.
12 does not hit. And then as you kind of strike it, you watch him go around, and he goes to try and pop you in the mouth with a punch. And that's a 21 versus AC.
Yeah, that hit.
So 10 points of force damage. As again, he hits you, and his fist never actually comes to contact. Some sort of force construction around it hits you.
Okay, and I will survive the attack with the
18 does hit. Go ahead and roll the damage.
be 14.
All right. He takes the hit, so as you swing the first time, you watch him just kind of stop it and then hit you at the same time. You kind of bring it back around and just clock him across the jaw, and you watch him. And he gets back into a fighting stance. Anything else you want to do?
No. Yeah, that would be my turn.
Okay. Vala, you are unconscious but stable because of Spare the Dying. So enjoy your vacation.
Okay.
The wizard's turn.
Yeah, really looking forward to the unloading me next. Fucking awesome.
He is... So the wizard kind of moves his hand, and as you're looking at him, you kind of blink for a second because you're having a hard time focusing, and you realize there's 2 of him, and then 3 of him, then 4.
Cool.
And that's what he's going to do. Yeah, he has no bonus actions, I don't believe. Yeah, no, so that's what he does. And then, again, you're going to try... See, these doors are really, really thick, though. And they're really hard to break through. And you can't open them from the inside. Well, she finally hits. I mean, that's nice. Doesn't do enough damage to break it, though. So, Argenta, again, because you're so far back, you can hear this pounding on the door there, and you can hear wood splintering and stuff like that, but they're really heavy, solid doors. And so, the... you hear the door getting damaged, but you don't hear it breaking down yet, because she's nothing else she can do. Yeah, that's it. Tech Dude is going to take some pot shots at Relwyn.
AC 17.
22 is the first one. So that's 11 force and 9 poison damage. And then the second one is a 13.
Second, 11.
So again, he just takes a
9.
crossbow. First one hits you. The second one, you kind of dodge out of the way.
Okay.
Argenta, what do you want to do?
So, is it a bonus action to reload a gun or an action?
For a gunslinger, it would be a bonus action. For anyone else, I think it's still an action.
Or an
It
attack, I mean. Not an action.
It depends if you have that stuff that allows you to ignore it.
Yeah. As gunslingers level up, they can reload faster.
So, I'll use my bonus action again to return to that spot. And then I'll use my movement to get into the wizard's face. Because I'm still hasted.
Okay.
And I just pull my dagger and I'm going to stab at him 3 times.
Go for it. I gotta remember how magic works.
Yes, dagger magic. Stick him with the pointy end.
Well, remember he's also got 5 of them.
Okay.
Are there 3 of them or?
Because he casts it second level, it's only 3.
Oh,
We have a 19.
Normally that would hit. However,
yeah, you have to roll to see which one it hits.
yeah. How does this work again? I really should know this spell better.
You have to roll above a certain number.
Yeah, it's mirror image.
So a 6 or higher.
I think the numbers are 6, 8, 11. They have
Yeah.
to roll over, depending. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, so as you plunge the first one, as it goes in, the duplicate disappears, but you don't seem to have hit him at all.
Second attack.
Go for it.
That is 28. Where is that? 22.
Definitely hits as it plunges in. Mirror image disappears.
Nat 20.
Definitely hits.
You know, the numbers adjust.
You hit the real thing. Roll actual damage.
Okay, he's being marked as my favored foe because I hit him.
Okay. And then do all your crazy barbarian shit.
So he takes 6, 17 points of damage.
Okay. So after you hit him, the final duplicate disappears. Because concentration's a bitch.
Yeah, and Argenta's just chilling there now.
Oh, it's not concentration. Never mind. There's still one. There's still one there,
Yep.
but you hit the real
The
one.
advantage of it.
All right. That's my turn.
All right. Punchy Boy is going to try and pummel Liliane with a 15 versus AC.
That is
Okay, so the first attack, as he goes, you just kind of dodge out of the way. He comes back around to make another attack. He gets a 14. So again, first one, second one, duck under. Third one is a 22.
that
Okay, so he goes the first one, you kind of move out of the way. Second one, you move out of the way. Third one comes with an uppercut, and you take 10 points of force damage. Relwyn, what you want to do?
Okay, well, I really only moved Val just on the off chance it might be advantageous. I'm going to use an action. I have so little healing right now, so right now, you're Vala, you're just getting a potion of healing, so 2d4 plus 2. Down your gullet. 2d4. 7, 9. 7, 9 potion there. I will use a bonus action now. And where is that stupid feature? I have a feature. I'm going to use it to recover a 3rd level spell slot from a channel divinity.
Okay. So, Vala, as you wake up, you could see Relwyn over you, kind of force-feeding you a potion. And as he does, you watch him clutch his holy symbol, and you can see kind of magic kind of coalesce into him. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
That's pretty much going to be it. I'll just position myself in front of, try and give her cover.
Okay.
As best I can.
All right. Lil Yang, what you want to do?
I could keep playing in our entire everybody same. That would be what is who my saying.
You are no longer poisoned.
But food attack is that one.
Didn't even need the disadvantage.
No. But
Well, that one definitely hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
that would be done.
So, how much did it damage?
9.
9. Okay. So your first attack, he kind of ducks under. You come back around, smack him, and as you do that, he tries to bring his knee up to hit you, and he gets an 18 versus your AC. So you get force damage right in the stomach. 10 points. Vala, you are conscious, but prone.
I am going to stand up.
Okay.
I'm going to 5, 10, 15. Try to get to this corner here.
Okay.
While drinking another potion of healing.
Okay.
On second thought, no. I will. I'm going to Eldritch Blast the wizard.
Okay.
Rowan grows out like I'm. Please try and save these people.
I want to save them, but I don't know what non-threatening damage I can do.
It's a love tap of deadly force damage. You know, some people that's foreplay, you know.
Hey, I am not casting Fireball. All right, so I get 3 Eldritch attacks, correct?
Yippers.
Okay, so first Eldritch Blast, 29 to hit.
Misses. Yeah, roll damage.
So that's 7 damage, but isn't there still 1 mirror image left or no?
You hit the real one because I rolled poorly.
Excellent. 14 for my next attack.
14 misses, unfortunately.
And
As it
for my
goes forward, you watch him just kind of move his hand, and it gets deflected off of his mage armor.
Got it. 17 for the third attack.
I again rolled poorly, so go ahead and roll your damage. That last mirror image, like the other ones were like jumping in front of it to try and stop it. The last one just kind of sitting there going, "Fuck this shit, no way."
9 damage.
9 points of damage. Okay. He seems less. Go ahead.
Of gentle force, like a pillow fight.
Yes. He seems less than thrilled with you. However, he has someone else to deal with in front of him. So.
Cool.
Anything else you want to do with your turn?
How does everybody else look health-wise?
I haven't been able to heal anyone right now, and you had to drop, and I had to use a potion to get you up, so use that for context.
Yeah, I'm in single digits.
Barely.
Barely.
I have just for context. I still have my bardic inspiration. If that's.
I'm just. I am going to use 3 of my pool of healing dice.
Okay.
So I will heal another 11.
Probably not a bad idea. So, is that end your turn then?
That ends my turn.
All right. For the spells that he has.
Okay, good.
Yeah, the spellcaster is going to reach out and attempt to strangle you, Argenta. Which may be a dumb idea, but we're about to find out. I hit the wrong button. Well, that's a 12. Does a 12 hit your armor class?
No.
Okay. So as he sits there and he reaches out, you can see the lightning just dancing all over his hand. And as he reaches out, I just kind of imagine Argenta just grabbing his wrist as it's like right here and watching as the little bits of lightning and electricity just kind of spark out and do nothing. And then you just kind of let go of his hand. And he seems less than thrilled with you. And because that was a cantrip, and he still has second level spell slots, he is going to Misty Step over here.
Is he though?
Let me rephrase that. He's going to cast the Misty Step spell. Whether or not it works.
And I'm going to use a third level spell
range.
slot to cast Counterspell.
He successfully casts Misty Step and successfully gets counterspelled and flips you off. And he may not care about the large barbarian in front of him next turn.
And as I'm casting that, I will cast it by saying, "Why are Tabaxi podiatrists good with money? Because they're experienced bean counters."
Oh, that's psychic damage. You should be ashamed of yourself. Terrace is still beating on that door. Surprisingly enough, they're reinforced. Well, there's more damage to the door. They're really, really tough doors. Like, they'd have to be. You guys eventually hear the sound of shattering, splintering doors and kind of almost an explosion. And she finally beats through the door.
Oh no.
She still has to jog.
Yeah, and
Yeah, and then she will come across my squishy butt.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. She doesn't have great speed, so she's still back there.
Oh yeah, because she already used her thing that she can't dash.
Yeah, she can't dash. She had to beat the door down. That brings us back to top of the order.
Techie guy.
He's gonna take pot shots at Rowan because Rowan brings people back. So
AC 17. And I can't do shit.
we have a 22 and then a 12. So first one hits, second misses. You take 11 force, 9 poison from the one that actually hits you. So again, he kind of fires 2 shots. The first one hits solid. The second one goes wide, and he just crouches down behind his barely, almost, not really cover. Argenta.
Yes. So she drops her dagger,
Mm-hmm.
pulls out Fury, is going to use one of her attacks to load Fury with. It's going to be like a full reload, but the first 2 shots are going to be anti-magic bullets. The second of which is charged with the bullet bag, the paralyzing electricity one.
So, because you're in melee with them, these will be done at disadvantage.
I have Gunner.
Ignore
Which
what I
negates
said. It should be disadvantage. Again, the mage just flips you off.
So first shot at the mage. 21.
He counterspells it.
He still has a mirror image.
Oh, yeah. I still have a mirror image. Oh, this will be even worse for a mirror image. Shit. He doesn't roll high enough.
So it hits him. So 21 damage and an anti-magic bullet is now lodged in his body.
The Brave the Geish?
So, as you take the take the gun out and you just unload in him, you see him kind of bring up a shield that is completely negated. And as it hits there, you watch his eyes just go white. And the mirror image falls. He hits the ground. And he looks up at you. What? Ah! And he looks down and he's bleeding. And he looks at you.
His pain receptors kicked in.
And he seems completely completely out of it. To what you can tell, he has no idea what's going on right now.
No time to explain. That worked a lot better than I thought it would. She says super fast because she's hasted.
I keep forgetting that you have that stupid anti-magic bullets. You're gonna run out of those.
I have 2 left. And one of those 2 is going into Tech Boy.
Okay.
I'm going to use my point of inspiration to get advantage on the shot.
Okay.
I'll mark it off in a second.
Yes, bullets of dispel magic.
24.
Well, you guys don't realize what happens when these bullets actually hit a magic user. Like, this is really bad shit. 24 does hit.
He does have to make a con save because I did charge it with Commander's bullet bag.
He just automatically succeeds on all con saves. And by that, I mean he rolled a 9.
Let me just see what happens with this. Because it's not on my character sheet, it's on Commander's.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe that fails and he's paralyzed.
I should just give you the bullet bag. I should just give it to your character. I'll do that after the game is over, so you have it on your character sheet. Because it's just a magic item. So
yeah. Let's see. So shocker. On a fail, it's a strength save, not a con save.
Oh well, his con save is a +5. His strength save is a -1. So change that to a 3.
So he is paralyzed and he has an anti-magic bullet lodged in him.
Well, he's not a magic user, so it's not quite as bad, but he's still paralyzed. So ignore him. It doesn't seem to have the same effect on him as it did the wizard. but to be blunt, you can't really tell because he's also paralyzed. As you guys watch as Argenta fires this bullet and it sticks in, and then you just watch as like little bolts of lightning just go all over his body, and he is completely rigid.
The wizard took 8 and the tech guy took 4.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
The wizard is almost dead. And the tech guy is perfectly fine except for being paralyzed. Punchy Dude is realizing this is about to become very, very bad very, very quickly. And he turns towards the Bloody Flame and goes, Master, run! And he is going to disengage from Liliane. What do you have for speed? You only have 30-foot speed because you're not a real monk. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And he can't get to him. He's going to dash to actually get to him. And that's going to end his turn because he has nothing else that he can do. Right? Or no, he has 50 feet. Never mind. So he does get to you, and then he's just going to punch you 3 times.
All right.
First one is a 10, and you didn't use reckless attack last turn, right?
No, I have not. I haven't used any of my barbarian things.
Second is 24.
That'll hit.
10 points of force damage. Third is another 10. So he comes forward, and as he comes up, he does this flying sidekick at you, and you just kind of step out of the way and bat it down. As he lands, he brings his back fist and goes across your face, which clocks you for a little bit, and then he turns to hit you with a spinning back kick, and you just catch it and kind of flip him in the air, which he kind of twirls and sticks the landing and gets back into a fighting stance.
And because the DC is... Because my base con save is 11, I don't need to roll.
What would you be... Are you concentrating on a spell?
I have haste for 2
Oh,
turns.
shit! Yes, I forgot about that. Yes.
Yeah.
So... Yeah, he's done. Rowan, you're up.
Okay. Not a lot else I can do right now.
Oh, and after... Before this happens, after he says, Master, run, you see the Bloody Fang going, No! This isn't how it's supposed to go! And you see him start reaching into his cloak for something.
Yeah, not a lot else I can do. As I'm going to run past Vala, you just be like, I hope you can also do Dispel Magic if this doesn't work. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Because by my estimation, not to be too... our friend should... There's no way she's not double dashing. 30. So I should be seeing her when she comes up. So I'm going to hold my action to do Dispel Magic on her. Because it's a range. So as soon as I get her in sight, I'm going to cast Dispel Magic.
Okay, cool.
It's going to be a 3rd level.
All right. Go ahead. Anything else you want to do with your turn, Rowan?
I don't think there's anything else I can do. This action bonus. Not really anything else I can. Yeah, because I'm going to be casting that, and I can't cast anything else. No one else has dropped. Yes, there's nothing else I can really do. Well, I can do another. I'll do another Channel Divinity to recover a 3rd level spell.
Okay, cool.
You will hear Vala say, "I dispel what?" And
Of
then
course.
whisper, use the inspiration. It's an ability check.
Yeah, it is. It is an ability check. So theoretically, you can use inspiration on it. Before you can do that, however, Liliane.
However, if this doesn't work, you and I are in trouble.
Yes.
Considering my luck, it's probably not going to work.
So, Liliane, it's your turn. What you want to do?
I will. Let's see. I will use my action to get behind Bloody Fang.
Okay.
And then I will bonus action activate my radiant sword.
This is Bloody Fang.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, this dude over here is just the
My dumbass just
spellcaster.
realized I pointed at my screen.
Yeah,
Jesus,
this is
this
the
light.
spellcaster.
God.
This is Bloody Fang.
let's see. Oh,
I think you still need your you were down here, so I think you still need your action to get behind him.
alright.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Well, what's your movement speed?
35.
Okay. Oh, Argenta's Barbarian. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll get behind him and I'll activate my sword. And that will be how I can do. Oh yeah, I need to roll back to the bit from activating that. Yeah, that might.
Okay. So you guys watch as Liliane goes forward, and for the first time, she draws her sword across her hand, and you watch as the blood starts coating the blade, and it just erupts in this brilliant white light, and she comes forward and aims it at the Bloody Fang. Before anything happens, though, Vala, what do you want to do?
Vala will just
You hear angry stomping coming up the hallway.
Vala will just back up 15 feet into the room,
Okay.
and then I am going to turn and I am going to prepare to cast Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
Depending on what happens when Relwyn attempts to cast Dispel Magic.
Gotcha. Anything else?
Nah, it's gonna be it.
Okay. Argenta, you hear this kind of scream of intense pain and agony next to you, and you look as the spellcaster, as long as the bullet is lodged in him, seems to be in an immense amount of pain. And so he needs to make a saving throw. That is probably going to go very poorly for him. Yep.
Roland doesn't know how these things work. Do these things like cause people continuous pain and?
It's
Or pain, yes. I mean damage. Sorry, it's late.
just because he's a spellcaster, it does weird things to him.
I've never shot a spellcaster with it, so Argenta doesn't know either.
Yeah, it's bad. He's rendered unconscious.
Gotcha.
And you think as long as his bully is in him, he's going to continue to take damage every turn.
Gotcha.
So, just with that knowledge, he's done.
That's also automatic failed save.
Yeah, when his turn comes up.
Yeah.
He's just unconscious right now, so. But that's why I wanted to mention he's going to take damage every turn. So it's time for Terrace. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. By the time she gets here, nope, you can't see her yet. So she's going to dash 5,
Yep.
10, and when she gets here, roll when you can see her.
Okay. That'll be the spell magic. My +4.
And you're going to use your Bardic Inspiration as
Depends.
well.
Wait a second here. 7 + 4. Even if I did, it's not gonna matter because
What did you-
I rolled a 7.
So 11. I mean, it's a D10. There is a chance if you roll high on the D10
Mm-hmm.
because it's 11. So if you roll a what, you could get up to a 21. Is what I'm saying.
For the highest level magic, you would only need to roll a 19. So it's theoretically possible, no matter what it is. With that, you might be able to pull it off.
Okay, well it's gonna be a Hail Mary, and I know it's gonna happen. So let's go do it. I'm currently at 11. Weird.
What'd you roll?
No.
Okay. So as you sit there and you release the Dispel magic, it doesn't seem to work. So that was 10, 15, 20.
With all due respect, fuck you, D&D Beyond. I'm sorry. When it's come down, every time it's come down to crunch time, it's fucked me over.
Yeah. So it'd be 25, 30. And
I'm rolling physical dice next week.
she can't see anybody to do anything, so that's all of her. That's her turn.
Did I see the dispel magic go off and
Yes.
and nothing?
Yep. She seems to she still has. She just doesn't have enough. She had to use your action to move, so she hasn't swung yet, but she still looks pissed at you guys.
Cool. I'm gonna let off my Eldritch Blast then.
Go ahead and you can roll off the three of them.
Just FYI, she's fresh on hit points.
Yeah.
So go ahead, piss her off.
Oh. The dice doesn't want to roll a natural 1, but fate compels it. I saw D&D Beyond fighting against it. So I rolled a well, that's +10, so an 11, an 18, and a 23.
The 11 misses. The 18 and the 23 hit.
Okay. So down and down. So 4 and 7 points of damage.
So that's 11.
That is 11 total.
Okay. So as she comes around and she has her shield on, she comes up and she starts getting ready to swing. And your first Eldritch Blast comes and she just kind of moves her shield in the way, and it ricochets off the shield and does nothing. She drops it and then poof, poof, you can see her just seething with rage.
In the name of the Dark Lady, stop. Think these thoughts are not your own.
I'm hoping she gets advantage with the... that
What
thing
do
was-
we have? Wisdom save. So she sits there looking at you and hearing that there's nothing else she can do this turn, but you think you've done something and maybe next turn something will happen.
Okay.
Tech Dude gets to repeat the saving throw at the end of his turn, right? Or beginning of his turn?
Let's see here.
He repeats it sometime.
Strength save, paralyze at the end of each of their turns.
Okay. So he would have had one at the end. Or no, it hasn't had his turn yet. So this is the first time he's going to try. Well, that's a 4.
Mhm.
He's just chilling. He gets a Mai Tai out. Sips it. Argenta, you're up.
So she's going to look at the bloody Fang,
Mm-hmm.
ignoring the punchy guy in front of her.
Mm-hmm.
she'll use her first attack to load in 2 more shots.
Okay.
One is the last anti-magic bullet.
Okay.
She's going to aim it at the Bloody Fang.
All right. You see this shimmering field around him. Go ahead and give it a shot.
Let's see here. That is a 17.
17. 17 hits. And you notice that he doesn't flinch or anything. As the bullet's coming toward him, you see him just smile. And as the bullet impacts the shimmering field, nothing happens to the field. And you watch his smile fade in the, fraction of a second between where it hits the shimmering field and where it hits him. You watch his face just drop. Roll damage.
10.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you...
Oh, 10 points of damage.
10 points of damage. Okay. So as it hits him, you see him just scream in pain. Phew! But your turn's not over yet, so...
So I still have a hasted action. This is the last turn that I have haste up. What is it? Dash, engage, or use an object action. So I still have Punchy Guy with me, right?
Yeah. After you shot him and he saw the Bloody Fang get damaged, you watch his face drop, and now he's trying to leap in between you and the Bloody Fang.
Okay, I'm going to, because this is a ranged attack roll, and I have a free hand, she uses her hasted action to reach into her pocket, pull out the iron bands of binding, because this is all just shit, and I'm gonna throw it at the Punchy Guy.
Yes.
It's a saving throw, right?
It's an attack roll.
Oh no, it's an attack roll. Never mind.
Yeah, that's why I can use it with my hasted action.
Oh yeah, go for it. Let's see what happens.
It's a saving throw to bust out of. I think it's a strength, isn't it?
Yeah. 21.
21 hits his armor class. So,
and as she throws it, she says Oklahoma, because that's what Commander said.
So, you see him see the Bloody Fang. He's like, no! And he kind of moves in the way, and you see him start going to punch, and you just go, Oklahoma, in slow motion. And he goes, what? And then, and he is now restrained on the floor. And he looks pissed. Anything else you want to do with your turn?
The support barbarian rests.
Support barbarian. So, at the end of your turn, the Dark Lord, now seeing his own blood, goes, you shouldn't have done that! And he points a wand at you. And unfortunately, he has to make a con save because he has a damn bullet in him. But he rolls high enough. A spell effect goes off. Argenta, you start feeling your mind feeling clouded. You start fading away. I need a wisdom saving throw.
Sorry, I'm muted. Is this a charm effect?
This is a charm effect.
Okay.
I believe. Yes, it is a charm effect.
Second highest roll I can roll. So that's a 21.
It would be nice if I could roll that high.
As the Gaius spell starts to take hold of you.
Is that a quick spell? Shit.
Quicken spell wouldn't work with that. It's a mechanic of the wand itself.
Oh.
We'll deal with that in a second. So as the Gaius spell begins to take hold on your mind, everything seems to fade away. Your whole life before this starts to fade away. And the only thing that you can remember is the bloody Fang has always been there. He raised you, he supported you, he has protected you. He is the only person in the world that you care about. And as that thought just keeps repeating in your head over and over again, you see everyone getting ready to attack him, and you realize that if you don't kill these other people whom you've never met, you don't know who they are, but they're trying to hurt the most important person in the world to you. And you feel you have fury in one hand, you take your dagger out in the other one, and you see Liliane closest, and so you just start to train the gun on Liliane. As you're sitting there, you get this strange kind of headache right above your left eye. Something about this doesn't seem right. And you suddenly start to feel hot. You can't really explain why, but you feel really hot. Incredibly hot, like you're burning. And suddenly, you're looking around. You see your old mercenary company, their bodies lying on the floor, lifeless. There's fire all over your side. Your skin is burned, your face is burned. You look over and you can see in the tree line the bloody Fang just grinning and laughing. And you're suddenly taken back into the moment. And you kind of look at Fury, and you point at Liliane again. And then you drop your dagger, you take your hand and you just slowly move it back and aim it at the bloody Fang. And as that happens, you see his face drop. He goes, "No!" And you watch as the wand he's holding shatters and disintegrates. Monk Boy is restrained. Still restrained. Relwyn, you're up.
Okay. Oh, come on. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Before I go, I'm going to look to Terrace, and I'm going to repeat again, because remember those. These thoughts are not yours. Hold fast to what is true. And then he's going to move. I don't know if that's going to do anything or not. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Did she take a swing at me?
You see her start to swing at you, and then you see her kind of clutch her head, and unfortunately she takes a shit ton of damage. Yeah. She takes 33 points of psychic damage as she sits there, and you can see her trying to fight it, and she succeeds in fighting it, but just takes a crap ton of damage. And she doesn't take a swing at you.
Okay. 5, 10, 20, 25, 30. I get in trouble. I'm hoping we get there. So, yeah, I'm going to move. God dang it. Get there. And I'm just going to move here. I know he's going to take it again, but I'm going to cast Spare the Dying on him, so at least it'll stabilize him. So if he takes damage again, he's just gonna start over again.
Effectively, yeah.
Because it's a bonus action for me, because my
Okay, yep.
Great Cleric.
Cool.
And ranged. That's it for me.
Liliane, what you want to do?
Are you gonna bonus and to evolve everything a bloody thing to get my information? And I'm gonna attack him twice.
Okay. Again, there's still this shimmering field in between you and him. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
What did it say on the first one?
That misses. Go ahead and roll damage.
And are you gonna do divine bite?
Okay. So you guys watch as Liliane kind of cuts, and again, there's this shimmering field of energy that looks like it should stop his sword, and yet it goes straight through. And again, as soon as it goes through, the Bloody Fang looks shocked, and as it cuts into him, you see this brilliant flash of deep indigo light.
Is he enough of an asshole to count as a fiend?
Unfortunately not. He's humanoid.
Okay.
Good try, but no, he's a humanoid. He's not that much of an asshole. To be perfectly honest, it would be he would be closer to undead than he would a fiend. Math is hard. Stay in Sis's school, guys.
Yeah. Oh. What do you want? Already?
Okay. So as you hit him the first time, again, explosion of indigo light. And he looks at you, and you can see kind of blood slipping out of the corner of his mouth, and he spits it at you. I am better than this! I'm better than you! I'm better than you! None of this should be happening!
And I'm gonna attack him again.
Okay.
Well, that is 29.
Another miss. You just can't get a break.
And I get the bite while you're like a bell swap, right? And I always do it once.
No, Paladins, in current 5th edition, every time you hit, you can smite.
Alright.
If you want.
If you want. Yeah, you don't have to, but anytime you hit, you
Yeah.
can smite. As long as you have enough spell slots for it.
Alright.
You have to get to a certain spell level to get an automatic 1-level smite. Improved smite.
That's gonna be 19 right there.
Okay. So as you hit him again, there's a deep gash in his chest. And the shimmering field around him crashes. And time seems to slow for a second. As you're all sitting here, the lights start to dim and then go completely out. The floor seems to disappear. Suddenly, you're standing in an open field. In front of you, Castle Tormenrift is looking down, and I 30-foot tall version of the Dark Lord just walks out. Bloody Fang goes, "You said I was invincible, untouchable. Kill them now. I am better than this. They cheated. They did something." You see the Dark Lord. "You pathetic fool. You waste my time. You are no longer my commander." Suddenly you're back in the room. There we go. I had to get the right music. You're back in the room. She's like, "What? No! No! That's not how this works! I'm better than them! This isn't..." And he turns to Lillian. "You filthy, disgusting excuse!" And he turns towards Argenta. "This is all your fault. You should be mine. I used the last of my power. You should be mine!"
It's not how it works. You see, Commander broke things, and we inherited that.
You know, when they all died, do you know what I did? I went and collected every one of their eyes, and I sent them to their loved ones, just so that they knew they were dead. It doesn't matter what you do, they can never come back. You always have to live with the fact that you killed them all. There's nothing you can do. Nothing.
There's something I can do. She fires the last 2 shots of fury into him.
Okay. As the first bullet goes in, coughs up blood. Second one comes in, collapses to his knees. Large pool of blood is forming on the ground. He struggles, puts one foot down, then another, gets up. He pulls out a dagger that obviously has something on it. And he starts moving towards you.
Argenta smiles, and he can see her features becoming more wolf-like as she rages,
Okay.
because her haste is about to end, so she ends it and just goes. You see her go lax because she's tired, because haste ends.
So he comes over, takes the dagger, and because of how weak he is, you're stunned for 6 seconds.
Yeah.
It takes him longer than 6 seconds to get to you, so you kind of blink out of it, and you see him coming forward, bringing the dagger up, and he lifts it as high as he can, which is barely eye level, and he tries to plunge it into your chest. But it's so weak. What do you want to do?
She's basically just going to catch it in one hand, let go of fury, and because she's raging, just lift him up with the other hand by his neck.
So as he's sitting there, and he's like, You're worthless. And then he goes limp in your hand.
I hold him for about 10 more seconds and then I just let him go.
As he hits the ground, you hear sound of metal. Ting, ting, ting. You see a coin on the ground.
Does it look like the coins we all have? That general control coin?
Yeah, looks like the coin that you guys found after dealing with uh, the major domo.
She'll pick it up. That's number 2.
I do
The
have a
Go ahead.
question with him dropping and the effects of the gay spell. I didn't know if the wand was effect or not, or if it's an ongoing. But since he's been relinquished and his power's been removed, are these guys still operating like they're under a gauge?
As far as you can tell, other than the spellcaster, other than the fact that he's unconscious, he doesn't seem to be affected by it anymore. Um, uh, the other ones seem to still be under the effect of the Gaius, but without the Dark Lord there, they're not actively trying to attack you. Some of them try and get over to the Dark Lord. Uh, what's her name? Terrace actually goes over, and you watch her kind of drop to the ground and start casting a healing spell on the Dark Lord, and nothing happens.
He's
I'll
he's looking at the real. He's like he talks to the guy who's been shooting at us. And he's like, "I am helping your ally. Don't." And he just goes over to him, and he's going to whatever the order is. If I have to spare a dying or not again, but he's gonna remove the bullet.
Okay, that'll be kind of difficult to do it without killing him. So I just need a medicine check. Because I mean, you're doing surgery, so
I'll
22.
Play.
yeah,
Oh.
you take it out. You watch as his breathing gets less labored. Yeah. The
I'll say Oklahoma and get my iron bands back.
well, he's still fighting against them. So
Yeah. Yeah,
uh,
I'm just gonna retrieve them.
okay. So you watch as Terra starts casting Revivify, and nothing happens. You
I
see,
can try casting again, but I'm gonna need help.
I see that see I'm the bloody thing all the and always be the not alone.
okay. She turns to you, and you can see just tears streaming down her face. What have you done? And you see her kind of struggle. It's like, he loved. No, he was my.
No, he didn't. You were under how the thought was not alone.
If Vala can give me another inspiration, can I stack that with my guidance and then try to do a dispel magic again?
There's nothing to say that they don't stack. So,
Yeah.
I'd say go ahead.
Okay. Does Vala have one? Because this is going to be a Hail Mary either way.
Vala pulls out her lute and starts playing the MASH theme song.
Because suicide is painless.
Okay, so there's that first. I'll go ahead and do my guidance, and then D10 all together.
I mean, it's that or it's dad
With a-
jokes.
With the +4, that's 27.
27. So you watch as the kind of pain and anguish fades from her. She no longer seems to be in physical pain. But you watch kind of the dawn of everything that has happened to her kind of come over her. And she just collapses in into herself and is just bawling and shaking.
I'll go over to the wizard because I technically knocked him out and just cast a level 1 cure wounds for 7.
Okay.
Question:
Mhm.
If he's still under the gauche, if
He's
he
he's not, because he was a spellcaster. The bullet did weird shit and it
oh,
ended the
so
gaze
he
on him.
okay.
So the spellcaster is fine. He was just dying for a while.
Yeah,
Um,
I gave him 7 hit points.
Yeah. So
Okay.
he wakes up and again still covered in blood. But he kind of looks at you all and it's like, that was remarkably unpleasant.
Yes, I'm sorry to rush you, and I'm sorry for the pain that you're in. But if you could have to spell magic, these two still need help. I would recommend getting the one who's been shooting people.
Of course. Yes, yes.
I'll give guidance to him as well. I don't know if he needs it.
He turns to you. My room, my spell book. It's third bookshelf on the left-hand side, second shelf from the bottom, fourth book from the right. Pull on it. Behind it is a my spell book is there. I don't have it prepared. I need my spell book.
I'll go get it since I'm the least hurt.
Okay. So you go and it's very big, thick spell book, and he goes and he pages through it, and through the fact that he still has a 9th level spell slot, he's able to cast it on the one that you took the rubber band off of.
Okay.
And then he uses the rest of his spell slots because he'll eventually succeed to get it off of the other guy. But he was paralyzed and was going to be paralyzed for a while because he has a strength modifier of -1. But they're all done, and you watch him after he's done. He just about faints. Like, he goes all the way to the ground. He's like, I feel I may have overdone it a bit. You don't mind? I will retire to my room for a nap.
Probably for the best.
Where's? I need you to know. Hey, not yet. Where's Felicity? Remember Felicity?
Felicity, yes. A remarkable young girl. Skilled tailor.
Where is she?
Oh no. Oh no. And you watch him use his staff to get up, and he goes over to the large brass statue. And as he touches a panel on it that was almost imperceptible, it moves, and you see a hallway. As you go in, you can see this immaculate room. There's this beautiful vanity over there. There's this little kind of lounge area. There's a grand piano. There's a bathtub, a brass bathtub, or a copper bathtub. And in the tub is Felicity, unclothed and currently unconscious.
Where's the tub?
The tub is...
Oh, the tub's this. Oh, the tub's this.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a tub.
Okay. Rowan still has ones. He'll do a medicine check on her, see if she's still alive.
Go ahead and make your medicine check.
18.
18. She...
He'll reflexively do spare the dying if he can, because he does it at a range anyway.
She's unconscious, but she doesn't seem to be dying or anything like that. However, she is covered in bruises.
Son of a bitch.
So, sorry, I used one of my healing lights to give the wizard back 5 hit points. I will use my last remaining healing light on her to give her back 2 hit points.
Okay. You can see some of the bruises start to fade slightly, but whatever has been done to her she is unconscious, is probably going to remain that way for a little bit of time.
I think I know I'm low on spell slots, but I think he would still roll, and he's still going to give 13 points to her as well.
So you can see, like, you can, one of the things that you notice as you cast your healing spell on her, you watch as some of her ribs re-knit.
Rowan's just again. I'm sorry. We weren't here enough. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't need them as much as the rest of you. So Argenta's just gonna place her hand on her, and there's like 3 flashes of natural energy
Mm-hmm.
as she'll heal it. And that will know the 17 hit points.
Okay.
As I use the rest of my spell slots to
So you
heal her.
watch as more bruises fade. You watch as one of her eye sockets was crushed. The bones start to knit back together. One thing, Rowan, you find odd is you don't sense any magic from her. So it would seem that she is not currently under this the effect of a Gaius spell.
All he had to do was threaten her family.
I'm tapped for magic right now. That's all I could do.
She seems like she is in as good a health as you can. It's just she's in a coma right now, so it's probably going to be at least a few days. To be perfectly honest, to know exactly how long it's going to take, you need an actual doctor. Well, I mean, you're a cleric and you generally heal things with magic, and so again, you can tell that she's.
Trained in medicine.
Oh yeah. So yeah, you think probably at least it's going to take at least a few days for her to come out of the coma, because she, again, one of her eye sockets was crushed and broken ribs, and like she was hurt very, very
trauma
badly.
is still trauma.
Yeah. So, as much as you guys have healed most of the physical injuries on her, it's going to take some time.
I think we would get her out of the bath.
Mm-hmm. Clothes from her tailor.
Yeah.
Get her some clothes. Get her into onto a bed somewhere.
Okay.
Not in this bed. Not in this room. Get her out of this room. Get her out of this room. He just says that over, and then he goes back to just looking at her. He just constantly repeats, I'm sorry.
So you guys are able to leave. On your way out, the wizard mentions, did you find the other tokens?
We found one.
Do you mean these to hold a coin, or do you mean like the tongues?
The tongues.
Not all of them.
So he goes to show you guys there was 2 more chests behind hidden doors that had them for a total of 3. And you guys are able to come out. As you come out, you see the clergy that were guarding it are currently on the ground bound. And you see the sheriff going, well, seems to me that you're late. And then he sees that you're carrying, and his demeanor changes instantly, and he starts kind of ordering people around and gets her the help. But unfortunately, because it is very late, that is where we are going to end it for today. As always, remember to like I upload all these to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/TrainerJody. Otherwise, again, that is all for me today. I will see you guys next time. All right? Bye-bye.